wondered if there's a shortcut, maybe, to grasping profound ancient wisdom. I mean, not just learning about it, but really understanding its implications.
Yeah.
Well, today, we're embarking on just such an expedition. It's a deep dive into some of the most influential spiritual texts ever composed. The Upanishads, these ancient Sanskrit texts, they form the philosophical and spiritual bedrock of Hinduism. We're going to try and go beyond just the basics, exploring not just what they are, but their truly revolutionary central ideas, and hopefully uncover why these texts, written thousands of years ago, still offer such profound insights for us today.
Absolutely. And our mission for this deep dive is, well, precisely that. To unearth those really impactful nuggets from our source material here, which is titled The Essence of the Upanishads, Atman and Brahman Unveiled. The aim is to make these incredibly profound concepts not just accessible, but genuinely relevant to your understanding of yourself and the world, right here, right now.
All right, let's start the journey then. When we talk about the Upanishads, what should immediately spring to mind? Like beyond just the name itself, what's their real essence?
Okay, so at their core, the Upanishads are this collection of ancient Sanskrit texts. They really represent the philosophical and spiritual culmination of Hinduism. What's truly fascinating is their position. They are the final section of the Vedas, the oldest scriptures, which is exactly why they're known as Vedanta. It signifies not just the end of the Vedas, literally, but more like the culmination of Vedic thought.
Culmination, right.
And it marks this monumental shift. You see, the earlier Vedic focus was more on external rituals, sacrifices, but the Upanishads turn inward. It's a deeply introspective and philosophical inquiry into the nature of reality, the self, ultimate truth. It's a real turning inward.
That turning inward, that really does feel like a profound evolution, doesn't it? And the name Upanishad itself seems to capture that intimate, almost whispered transfer of knowledge. It literally means sitting down near, which just conjures this powerful image, right?
Yeah.
A student sitting closely with a guru, a teacher.
Yeah, receiving this secret or esoteric knowledge.
Exactly. It implies a direct personal transmission. And these texts aren't just, written wisdom. They're considered shruti.
What is heard.
Meaning what is heard, yeah. A class of divinely revealed sort of foundational truths.
Precisely. They aren't intellectual constructs so much as insights that were heard or perhaps directly realized by ancient sages. And just to give you a sense of their scope, while there are over 200 known Upanishads, maybe 10 to 13 are considered the principal or major ones, the Mukhya Upanishad.
Okay, the main ones.
The main ones, yeah. Composed generally between, say, roughly 800 and 300 BCE. So while they definitely share overarching themes, it's important to understand they're not a single monolithic philosophical system. It's more like a rich tapestry, really. Diverse, often complementary explorations. Each one offers maybe a slightly different facet of the same profound jewel.
A tapestry indeed. And at the very heart of this ancient philosophical treasure chest are two central intertwined concepts that truly define the Upanishads. These are Brahman and Atman.
Right. Let's start with Brahman. Now, this isn't a god in the way we might typically think of one.
Yeah.
Brahman is the ultimate unchanging reality, the universal consciousness that underlies, well, everything, all existence.
Okay.
It's often described as ineffable, not because it's hidden necessarily, but because it's so fundamental, so all-encompassing, that it just transcends ordinary human comprehension, our ways of conceptualizing things.
It's too big for words, almost.
Exactly. It's the unifying principle behind all the apparent diversity we see in the universe. Often spoken of with attributes like truth, satya, knowledge, jnana, infinity, ananta, consciousness, chit, and bliss, ananda. Think of it as the ultimate ground of all being, the very fabric of reality itself.
Wow. Okay, so if Brahman is that ultimate universal reality, that huge consciousness, how does that relate to us? To our individual existence? And that's where the concept of Atman comes in, right?
Precisely. Atman is the individual self, or soul. It's the eternal and unchanging essence of every living being. The Upanishads teach that your true self isn't your physical body, nor is it your fleeting thoughts or emotions or your personality.
All the stuff we usually identify with.
Right, all the temporary layers. No, the Atman is that spark of the divine, that piece of the universal consciousness Brahman residing within each and every one of us. It's your deepest identity.
Your deepest identity, beyond all that temporary stuff.
Yeah. And here's where we get to the really profound, revolutionary core of the Upanishads. The radical non-duality of Atman and Brahman. The most fundamental teaching is that your individual soul, your Atman, and the ultimate universal reality, Brahman. They aren't just connected or similar.
You're the same.
They are ultimately one and the same, not separate. This isn't just some abstract philosophical point. It's a radical reframing of identity. It completely challenges our everyday perception of being a separate self. And it offers this direct path to profound inner peace, potentially.
Okay, so if you had to boil that down, distill it into one single, utterly transformative declaration.
It would have to be Tat Tvam Asi.
From the Chandogya Upanishad, right? Thou art that.
Yeah.
It just encapsulates this frankly mind-bending idea that the individual soul is identical to the universal reality. And realizing this unity, truly internalizing this non-duality, that's not just an intellectual exercise, is it?
Not at all. It's presented as the ultimate role of life, the key to true liberation. And this realization, it connects directly to these other key concepts, Moksha and Samsara. So if you look at the bigger picture, Samsara is understood as the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. A cycle driven, they say, by ignorance.
Ignorance of this unity?
Exactly. Ignorance of our true nature. And Moksha, then, is liberation, freedom from this cycle, achieved through that profound knowledge we've been discussing, self-knowledge.
So if we're sort of caught in this cycle, Samsara, what's actually binding us? What keeps it going? The Upanishads point to ignorance, right? Avidya.
Precisely. Avidya. Specifically, ignorance of one's true nature as Brahman. It's like forgetting Tat Tvam Asi, forgetting who you really are at the deepest level.
Okay. So the path out, the path to moksha, to ultimate freedom, is through self-knowledge. Atmajnana.
Yes, Atmajnana. And the profound living realization, not just belief, but realization of that Atman Brahman identity. It's essentially about remembering who you truly are.
Remembering. I like that.
And, concepts like karma, the universal law of cause and effect, where your actions shape your future, and dharma.
One's duty or righteous path.
Exactly. Those were present in earlier Vedic texts, of course. But the Upanishads really delve deeper into their philosophical implications. They emphasize how adhering to your dharma and understanding the intricacies of karma actually guide you towards self-knowledge. They become integral parts of the spiritual journey itself, not just, say, societal rules.
So they provide the ethical framework for this whole pursuit of moksha.
You could say that, yes. They guide action in a way that supports liberation.
Okay, so as you, our listener, hear these foundational ideas, maybe just take a moment to consider, how might truly grasping Tat Tvam Asi, this idea that your deepest self is connected to or is all existence, how might that shift your perspective on your own life, your daily choices, maybe even your sense of purpose?
It's a big question. And to make these sometimes abstract ideas a bit more concrete, let's maybe journey into a few specific principal Upanishads, give some examples. For instance, there's the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It's one of the oldest and longest. It's renowned for these really detailed philosophical dialogues. They systematically dismantle our assumptions about reality, the self, liberation. It's less about giving easy answers.
More about guiding you to question.
Exactly, guiding you to question everything you think you know. Then there's the Chandogya Upanishad, which we mentioned for Tat Tvam Asi. What's really remarkable about it is its masterful use of stories, allegories. It leads you through these dialogues that don't just state profound truths, but almost make you feel them, experience them.
Ah, like the salt and water story.
That kind of thing, yes. Very illustrative. And the Katha Upanishad, that offers a truly compelling narrative. The story of Nachiketa, this young boy who bravely confronts Yama, the god of death, seeking knowledge about the soul, the afterlife.
That takes guts.
It really does. And its core insight, beautifully illustrated in their dialogue, forces us to confront this eternal dilemma. The choice between prayas, the path of fleeting pleasure, or satisfaction.
The easy path, maybe.
Often, yes. Versus shreyas, the path of the good, of enduring fulfillment. It's a choice we face constantly, every day, in big ways and small.
Pleasure versus good, still relevant.
Absolutely. Then you have the Isha Upanishad. Short, but incredibly profound. It really emphasizes balancing worldly action with spiritual knowledge. It teaches how to live in the world, perform your duties, but with detachment, without clinging to results, without that sense of, I am the owner, I am the doer. It's like a practical guide for liberation within daily life itself.
So engaged, but not entangled.
Beautifully put, engaged, but not entangled. And finally, let's mention the Mundaka Upanishad. It's famous for clearly distinguishing between two types of knowledge. A lower knowledge concerning the material world, rituals, sciences.
Useful but limited.
Exactly. And a higher knowledge, the knowledge of the ultimate reality, Brahman. It really helps focus the mind on what truly matters for liberation. And interestingly, it's also the source of that very powerful phrase adopted by India, Satyameva Jayate.
Truth alone triumphs.
Truth alone triumphs, yes.
Wow. Those stories and distinctions, they really do bring these deep concepts into sharper focus. It's just amazing how these specific examples, even from thousands of years ago, powerfully illustrate the broader, timeless themes: seeking truth, understanding the self, living a meaningful life. It feels like profound ancient wisdom that can directly inform our modern choices or dilemmas right now.
I think so too. And to kind of summarize, the Upanishads offer these incredibly profound, timeless insights. They represent a truly revolutionary shift in human thought towards deep introspection. They emphasize the fundamental unity of Atman and Brahman. And they outline a clear, practical path, really, to liberation through genuine self-knowledge. It's ultimately about dissolving the illusion of separation.
Of dissolving that illusion, and their lasting impact is just immense, isn't it? The Upanishads aren't just historical artifacts. They're foundational texts for so many later schools of Hindu philosophy, particularly Vedanta. And their insights, their way of thinking, has influenced spiritual and philosophical traditions far beyond India, resonating across cultures, across centuries.
Absolutely. So maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to consider. Given this profound emphasis in the Upanishads on self-knowledge, on the unity of your individual self with universal consciousness, what does it truly mean for you to know your inner self, beyond your physical form, beyond your thoughts, beyond your daily roles?
Think of than all that.
Much deeper. And how might Nachiketa's ancient choice, that fork in the road between the path of pleasure and the path of good, how might that apply to the everyday decisions you face right now?
Those are powerful questions. They really invite a deep dive, not just into these texts, but into our own lives. We definitely encourage you to continue exploring these timeless ideas and to reflect on their profound relevance in your own journey.